Hi, let's take a look at adding a water break to the map and keeping a record of that. So just logging in, um, you'll notice that recent water breaks, so year to date, is on by default. So that's kind of what those red things are. And let's just zoom into that. So just the setup is as follows. The year-to-date water breaks are on by default. There's another one that has all breaks, which which shows breaks current and older than a year. Let's go and look at how to actually add a new break and update the information that goes with it. The symbol between investigate, repair in progress, and repair complete changes depending on whatever's set up in the data set. Let's zoom a little tighter and go in and add a water break in this area here. So say for example a customer calls in and you know what their address is. So say they're on 16345 4th Street. To add a water break, you use the red line icon up here, and within the red lines each user may have been given permission to do water breaks. So you'll see there's different kinds of red lines depending on your user. You can go to water breaks. If that is active, then you simply create a symbol. You can set the size, but really you don't need to. And what you do is you go on the map, you'll see you have an icon for that to simply place the water break. Now, where you place it does have an impact. You can put it in, does not have to be on the pipe, but you'll notice that once we've created it, the system automatically looks for the nearest parcel, gets the address, looks for the nearest pipe, and gets the diameter and material and ID of that pipe. So for example, if you put it right next to this hydrant stem pipe here, then it would get the ID of the hydrant, and you probably don't want that. So you might want it closer to the main than that. Same thing across the street. If you put it halfway across, it's going to get that address as opposed to this one. So let's say we think it's here. This is the person who called it in, and let's just go ahead and put that down there. So right here we're going to say water break. So all I did was click, and what's happened is the system has created a symbol there. It's actually also created a water break right here year to date, so it's now already in a table in the GIS. And so what we can do then is go in and select that, and then go to the advanced forms, and let me just bring that up. The advanced form has got whatever I've selected, but in here what it's done is it's automatically gone and found the closest address, the ID of the pipe, and pulled out other information from the pipe given the diameter, the material, and whatever zone is assigned onto that pipe. So it's already recorded it. You'll notice the dates. The date recorded is here. That's when you entered it in the system. The other two, date reported and when the break occurred, default to the date, to today's date whenever you recorded it or put it in. Let's take then a look at the next report. So on the leak report, so the first form here is just informational. You can't edit anything. The next one, if you have rights, you can edit stuff. So this is where if someone's called it in, you would ask them details like who reported it, and you'd put your name in there and the whoever reported it, and the address, whatever they give as their address. You could type it in just so you've got it, and maybe you've got a phone number to use, and comments, just water, spraying from hydrant or something. So you can go in and put that information in. Staff person can add their own recorded by, and this is where you'd put your own name, and they could assume that it's a hydrant break. You can override these. Maybe they say this has been running since yesterday, so we would change the date. And at that point you need to hit save. If you leave this form without saving, then these are gone. So do hit save, and you'll get a confirmational dialog to show all the things that have been saved. Once you've hit save, you could leave this, come back tomorrow, etc. Let's assume you did come back, and actually I'll do that again. So if we come in here and clear that selection, this form now, this water break has that information on it. If I select it again and open up that form, and you'll see now that it has all of the information we just entered into it. Okay, let's assume we've come back now and we want to actually start dealing with this leak. On the post report form, we can assign a contractor, and even enter the foreman name, etc., the repairs that they've done once once you've obviously got it. So maybe they put a clamp on that, and it took them 3.5 hours, and you can then type in estimated water loss, etc., and we can just put that in. Cause of the leak was actually that somebody banged onto it, and the date that it was fixed, you could put that in here later, or now, and so we can say, oh, that was fixed same day. And do note the format. You need all 4 characters for the year, and you do need 2 characters for the dates that are entered there. And let's say it is now complete and the water is back on, and I hit save. So now I've entered that, and a simple refresh on the map, just move it, will change it. It's deselected, but you can see now it's been checked. So 3 different icons to show the status. If we zoom out, we'll see other ones that have been entered before. So it's active, you can track them. So there's one in progress, these 2 have been fixed, etc. So that's how you enter a water break. You can come back to those forms at any point. In addition to that, there's a few other things to look at. Let's zoom out just a fraction more. A few other things you can take note of. The default layer that's always on shows the breaks in the current year to date. If I turn that on, if I turn on the one that shows all breaks, it has the same categories, but you'll see additional items have been added. So those must be older. And then on the all breaks, we've added some additional functionality just to help with that. So let's turn off the year to date. Should see everything now because we've got all water breaks visible. You can also do a layer filter to say filter out just by a particular year. So while the layer says all water breaks, I can apply a filter to that layer on water breaks all, and I could say, okay, give me those that were in 2014, and the format here is important. You do need all 4 digits. So let's say okay to that. You'll notice now that there's just these 4 there showing, and that the and I'll make this a little larger. You'll see this layer says filtered, and so it's showing that it's a subset of the data on that layer. So we've now got effectively all water breaks in that 2014 and not 2015. So just a way to control it. You can enter start month and end month as well. To use this form, it has an asterisk next to it if it's active. If you hit reset, it will clear that filter. You do need to hit the reset. You'll notice these 2 buttons gray each other out. And say we wanted only in the first 3 months, or say 2 months of 2014. Let's go in and do those. So now I've only got those 2. So just a way to do those. Obviously, once you have them on the screen, we can select those items. Actually, I see there's one over here too, so let's add that guy. You can use the shift key to add to a selection. That's what I just did. And then go to the advanced form. And so now, let me bring that up again. Now you've got the form, and it's the same forms, but you can see all of the details. So there's the 3 and their appropriate information. So here's the summary. If you want to output that to a spreadsheet, you'd be good to go. You do need to hit reset here to clear that layer so that it does then display all of it. And that's it. Simple as that for maintaining and entering water breaks. The type of break is also shown on the map. This is taken directly from the data filled out in the form. You'll notice on the legend here, uh, none of these are turned on, but there's a matching type of break layer which you can turn on. This will differentiate a unknown, if we expand that out. So others would be, unknown or anything else other than a main break, which would have a sort of a double-sided arrow on it, or a service break, which has sort of the right arrow on it. Let's take a look, as opposed to a customer kind of break. So you'll see these symbols next to them. So this will tell you that's a service line break, and it's in progress of being repaired. These are unknown type of break. That's the default unless you put something in on the form. And then that has the matching layer down here for all types of breaks as opposed to the year to date.